The story of the B61 nuclear bomb is not just a tale of military hardware, but of how the Cold War and its aftermath shaped the weapons that still remain central to global security. When most people hear the term nuclear bomb, they think of massive, city-destroying devices like those dropped during World War II. But the B61 was designed with a different philosophy. It is not the largest or most powerful weapon in the American arsenal, but it is arguably one of the most versatile, adaptable, and enduring. For decades, it has remained the backbone of NATO's nuclear deterrence strategy, quietly deployed across Europe and carried by fighter jets that stand ready, even in times of relative peace. The B61 first entered service in the 1960s, a product of the escalating Cold War tension between the United States and the Soviet Union. Its development was a response to the challenge of building a nuclear weapon that could be flexible enough to adapt to different scenarios. At its core, the B61 is a thermonuclear gravity bomb, designed to be dropped from aircraft. But what makes it different is its variable yield, often called dial-A yield. This means the explosive power of the bomb can be adjusted before use, ranging from low kiloton settings, suitable for tactical strikes on military targets, all the way up to hundreds of kilotons, capable of devastating entire cities. This flexibility gave military planners options beyond the all-or-nothing devastation of earlier nuclear devices. Physically, the B61 is a relatively slender weapon, measuring around 11 feet in length and about 13 inches in diameter, with a weight of roughly 700 pounds. Its aerodynamic shape allows it to be carried by a wide range of aircraft, from strategic bombers like the B-52 and B-2 Spirit, to multi-role fighter jets such as the F-15, F-16, and more recently, the F-35. This compatibility across different platforms has been one of the reasons for its long lifespan. Instead of building entirely new nuclear bombs to match each generation of aircraft, the B-61 was continuously updated and modernized to stay relevant. Over the years, the bomb has gone through numerous versions, each with specific modifications. Early variants like the B-61-3 and B-61-4 focused on tactical roles, with lower yield settings designed for use on the battlefield. Later versions such as the B-61-7 carried higher yields and were geared towards strategic roles. Then there is the B-61-11, a version adapted into a so-called earth-penetrating bomb, capable of burrowing underground before detonation. This design was intended to destroy deeply buried bunkers or command centers that would otherwise survive a surface explosion. One of the most talked about updates is the B-61-12, the latest modernization effort. This version incorporates advanced guidance systems, making the bomb far more accurate than its predecessors. With precision comes a new type of power. Instead of relying on massive yields to ensure destruction, accuracy allows a smaller yield to achieve the same effect on hardened targets. This accuracy also plays into modern military doctrine, where reducing collateral damage has become more of a priority. Critics, however, argue that making nuclear weapons more precise and potentially more usable increases the risk that they could actually be employed in conflict. For NATO, the B-61 has been central to the alliance's nuclear posture. Since the Cold War, these bombs have been forward deployed in several European countries, including Germany, Italy, Belgium, the Netherlands, and Turkey. They are stored in secure underground vaults at air bases, where they remain under U.S. control but could be delivered by Allied aircraft in the event of war. This policy of nuclear sharing has always been controversial. Supporters argue that it strengthens NATO cohesion and deters aggression, especially from Russia. Opponents counter that it spreads nuclear weapons across more countries, increases risks of accidents or theft, and ties Europe into a nuclear strategy that many of its citizens oppose. Beyond politics, the technical longevity of the B-61 is remarkable. Most weapons designed in the 1960s have long since been retired, but the B-61 continues to evolve. This speaks to its original design philosophy, versatility and adaptability. Rather than building new warheads from scratch, the United States chose to upgrade and extend the life of existing ones. The B-61-12 modernization program alone is expected to keep the bomb in service until at least 2040, if not longer. That would mean a single family of nuclear weapons serving for nearly 80 years, longer than many aircraft, tanks, or ships. Of course, the existence of the B-61 raises important ethical and strategic questions. Nuclear weapons are, by nature, tools of mass destruction. Even at their lowest yields, they are far more destructive than conventional weapons. Their use would have catastrophic humanitarian consequences, as well as political and environmental fallout. Proponents of the B61 argue that deterrence is its real function, not actual use. By maintaining a credible nuclear option in Europe, the United States and NATO hope to prevent adversaries from even considering a nuclear strike. In this sense, the B61's value lies not in dropping it, but in ensuring it never has to be dropped at all. Yet, the modernization programs are not cheap. The cost of the B61-12 program is estimated in the tens of billions of dollars. Critics argue that money could be better spent on conventional military forces or non-military priorities. Others point out that investing in new nuclear weapons while advocating for global disarmament sends a contradictory message. Still, supporters say that as long as other nuclear powers like Russia and China are modernizing their arsenals, the United States cannot afford to let its own weapons fall behind. Another debate centers on the bomb's usability. With higher accuracy and lower yield settings, the B61-12 has been described by some analysts as a more practical nuclear weapon. That word alarms many, because practicality suggests it might actually be used in combat, something the world has avoided since 1945. Nuclear strategists argue that flexibility strengthens deterrence, but peace activists warn it blurs the line between conventional and nuclear war. If leaders believe a limited nuclear strike is possible without triggering full-scale retaliation, the risk of escalation could increase dramatically. In terms of deployment, the bomb remains shrouded in secrecy. The exact numbers stored in Europe are classified, though estimates suggest there may be around 100 deployed at various NATO bases. Security at these sites is extremely tight, with both American and host nation forces involved. Still, incidents in the past, such as anti-nuclear activists breaking into bases, have raised concerns about whether even the best systems are foolproof. The B61 also reflects a broader truth about nuclear weapons: they are not just military tools, but political symbols. For NATO allies close to Russia, the presence of these bombs is a tangible reassurance of U.S. commitment to their defense. For adversaries, it is a reminder that NATO has both the will and the means to respond to aggression. And for critics within Europe, it is a source of tension, especially in countries where public opinion leans strongly against nuclear weapons. Looking ahead, the B61's future seems secure for now. The modernization program ensures it will remain viable for decades. But the broader debate over nuclear weapons will not go away. As new technologies like hypersonic missiles and cyber warfare reshape global security, the role of traditional gravity bombs may evolve. Some argue that as delivery systems become faster and more precise, the need for nuclear bombs carried by fighter jets will diminish. Others believe their symbolic and tactical role within alliances like NATO ensures they will remain relevant. The B61 nuclear bomb is, in many ways, a paradox. It is a weapon designed for war but valued most for preventing it. It is an old design, yet continually refreshed with the latest technology. It is controversial, feared, defended, criticized, and studied endlessly. More than half a century after its creation, it still sits at the center of debates about deterrence, strategy, and morality. And as long as nuclear weapons remain part of the world's security architecture, the B61 will remain a key player, quiet, waiting, never used, but always present in the calculations of global power. For those who study military technology, the B61 is fascinating because of its engineering adaptability. For those concerned with international security, it is unsettling because of what it represents. And for the public, it is a reminder that the nuclear age did not end with the Cold War. These weapons are still here, still maintained, and still part of the world's fragile balance of power. Whether you see it as a necessary evil, a dangerous relic, or a brilliant piece of engineering, the B61 nuclear bomb has left a mark on history that will not fade anytime soon.